Welcome to Carnivore Bites. I'm your host, Jeff Sherman, along with the esteemed Dr. Eric Lopkin. My question to you, Dr. Lopkin, is are we really living in a democracy? I mean, you look at forget about Trump, you like him or you don't. That's another podcast. You're an outsider investigated by Obama, trumped up charges, no pun intended, with this whole Russian nonsense. The list goes on, and now an election that was stolen. Are we really that much better than a banana republic? Please tell me. I want to know.
Unfortunately, we're not. At this point, what went on with this election was ridiculous. You have Democratic whistleblowers who have signed affidavits telling people that they were told to take absentee ballots that did not come in on time and backdate them to before the election. This is Democrats who are saying they were told to do this. You have poll watchers from both parties who saw irregularities, and then when they tried to say something, were barred from the vote counts.
Well, Dr. Lopkin, do you know what I say? I voted, and it's a long story. I won't bore you or our audience in terms of, because I was registered in a different county, and I did a lot of work to get it done to vote that day. And you think about like how these people, the poll watchers, they're people that really believe in our democracy. These are good people. And they got pushed aside by basically an orchestrated coup attempt. And now all the geniuses that wanted Biden or whatever, they'll get their deep state. We'll probably get into a war in a year. All the things that they truly love will happen. The only question to you, Dr. Lopkin, is what does CNN do? Do they have egg on their face when they help prop up a senile candidate?
Well, CNN's ratings are going to drop regardless. When Obama took office, CNN's ratings dropped. CNN only does well when there's a Republican in the White House for them to rail against. Because they'll never cover anything that Biden does badly, only the good things.
Well, so they have no choice, though, Doctor. Hold on. They're going to have no choice because he is totally incompetent. This is a different discussion than we had on terrestrial radio with Obama. Obama was competent. He was completely engaged. You may not have liked his policies. Fine. This guy has dementia. How do you cover for that? And I'm really telling you what I really believe. He has dementia. He's not capable.
Oh, no, he does have dementia. I have been saying this for quite a long time. I got my information from members of the Florida Democratic State Committee. So this isn't some Russian disinformation. I got this from the Democrats before he got the nomination. They were saying that he had dementia when he announced, and they didn't understand why the National Party wanted to back him. So, yes, no, there is no doubt he has dementia. CNN will not mention that. If you take a look at how they covered the Biden campaign, they almost never covered his events live. When they covered it, it was an edited video where any gaffes were edited out, and they will continue to do that.
Yeah, but you can only do that no. I have a friend, he's not in the media, but he has a point. You can do that when you're running. When you're the president of the United States, you cannot hide in your basement. There is going to be times when you have to answer hard questions, and there is no way the authority in news, CNN, whatever their tagline is, has to address it. It's true.
Again,
when you're talking about
remember,
Iran,
I mean, yes, it's different now that there's a 24-hour news cycle. It's going to be harder, but it has been done before. I mean, remember, The general public did not know FDR had polio. The general public did not know that Ronald Reagan had dementia for part of his second term. So, I mean, it's been covered up before.
Okay, good point. But this is a dementia that, yeah, Reagan had dementia. I knew it. I was a Reagan supporter. He had good people around him. There was enough forward momentum to keep things going. I believe this is at a new scale. I really do believe that. I think, Iran does something, whatever, it does something in the Strait of Hormuz, and what's going to happen is Biden's going to talk about it happened in Georgia or something. Who knows?
But that actually brings up another topic that it's something we should really be concerned about is, how are other countries going to react? We've already seen over the last 2 days, emboldened by a Biden presidency, China is cracking down on capitalistic companies in China. So they're already anticipating, okay, Trump's gone, we can, go back to full communism. And this is going to be a big problem.
Are giving themselves the high five and saying, how dumb can America be? That's a fact.
Exactly. It is absolutely ridiculous. And, a lot of people that were anti-Trump said, oh, the other countries think we're a laughing stock. First of all, other countries did not think we were a laughing stock when Trump negotiated 4 peace treaties, limited the number of rocket launches that North Korea did, and kept China at bay. Their media may have, jumped on the anti-Trump bandwagon.
Of course.
But leaders knew, oh, okay, wait a minute, he is a force to be reckoned with. Now, if you thought we were a laughing stock, just watch how they look at us now.
I think it's very sad. We could go on. We'll talk about this on Friday. You talked about social media and new apps coming to the forefront in that genre.
Yeah, we definitely people need to pay attention to Parler. Parler has been around for a while. It was primarily founded based on freedom of speech and freedom of privacy, which essentially meant their policy was they were not going to censor what you said and they weren't going to sell your data. And they were growing slowly. They had a good following, but because of their stance on freedom of speech, a lot of people who were being censored by Facebook and Twitter started going over there. Breitbart routinely posts articles there. Sean Hannity posts articles there. The Trump campaign team was posting things there. Well, since the Biden election, Parler has gotten 2 million new accounts. Their activity has gone up 400%. Parler has become where the Trump supporters are going, where people who are on the right are going, and this is where discussions are starting to happen. And I was amazed. A couple of people were posting on Facebook, people are going to Parler to whine about the election, which is really funny coming from folks that threw a 4-year temper tantrum.
Hello.
But it's not whining that's going on Parler. You're actually seeing the start of a revolution. You are starting to see people are fed up that all of the fraud that went on, all of the bias in the media, and you are starting to see people congregate to figure out what to do about it.
Okay, Lopkin, that's a brilliant point, and that's the last point I think we'll make because I want to ask you this question. In the end, Trump, due to his own idiosyncrasies, was an easy target. They don't have that anymore. Could sometimes in life, as you probably know, be careful what you wish for. Senate I believe will still be Republican. Biden will be blocked on many things. He will look like the buffoon he is. In the end, could that not be a positive 4 years? And 4 years, the older you get, 4 years is not that long. Could it be a blessing in disguise? My question.
It definitely could. Biden is expected at this point to be a one-term president. A lot of Democrats have said he's one and done. Kamala Harris cannot win the White House. She doesn't have the following. But I'm actually more curious about what's going to happen in 2 years. Because even though the Democrats held on to the House, they lost seats. And the mainstream Democrats and the more centrist Democrats are blaming those lost seats on AOC and the progressives.
Of course.
There has already been talk that AOC is going to be forced out of the party.
Yeah, no. I think sometimes you have to look for the silver lining. This could be, listen, Trump did it to himself. Let's just be honest. Okay? You've been in business. I've been in business. You might have someone that's really bright, really talented, but they don't know how to handle themselves at the Christmas party. You get it. You know what I'm saying? And Trump could not handle himself at the Christmas party. If he kept it together, he would have been president. So they don't have that easy, low-hanging fruit. I think it's going to be a problem for them. Final thoughts.
It's going to be a big problem for them. The Republicans actually have a very deep bench for the next election. You have Mike Pence, who has shown time after time he can be presidential and agreed with most of Trump's policies. You have, now I'm blanking on her name, but the former ambassador to the UN.
I know who you're talking about. Yes.
She's incredibly presidential. And let's see the Democrats go nuts over a female conservative, because that takes away half of their argument. Oh, they're sexist. No. And quite frankly, I don't know that she's actually ready for the presidency, but I would love to see Haley. Haley, yes. I don't know if Haley is ready for the presidency, but I would love to see her as vice president on a Mike Pence ticket.
We'll close on that. There is always a ray of sunshine in a sea of despair, isn't there?
There's always something to look forward to. I think what you're going to see over the next few years, you're going to see the death of the far left part of the Democratic Party. I think the Democrats are going to start pulling themselves more to the center. I think the Republicans are going to get their act together because they don't want this to happen again. So I think both parties are actually going to improve because of this.
Well, thank you, Dr. Lopkin, and we'll do our live show on Friday, right?
Right. We'll see you Friday at 4 at blogtalkradio.com/Carnivore Radio.
Thank you very much for our listeners, and thank you, the esteemed Dr. Eric Lopkin.
See you Friday.
You've been listening to Carnivore Bites, part of the Exvadio Podcast Network. You can catch us every week on carnivoreradio.com, exvadio.com/podcasts, the Apple Podcast Store, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and wherever you find podcasts.